Family members are calling on persons with information relating to the death of 4-year-old Milan Jean-Baptiste to come forward rather than remaining tight-lipped. Young Milan was allegedly physically abused to death. One irate family member is calling for justice to be served.
If you all go to family court for the child's murder so that you all could take the child. I don't know why you all have to ill-treat the child so bad. The child is 4 years old. I myself, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a great-grandmother. I'll never do my children that. That is hurting me. Yeah? So I don't know why they had to, that child had to go through all them kind of things. And you all saying he's not you all that doing the child that.
He come by me sometime about this year, spend some time about the weekend with us. Milan is a very nice child, loving, very troublesome, as always, as all children. And I'm very saddened to hear what happened to him. But I'm pleading with the neighbors and the people that know what happened. Please, all of us are children, all of us have children. Milan was only 4 years. He needed our help. He didn't get the help. All the time he was being abused. But now, if you could do something, please do something to help him. Come out, say what happened. Please, he's asking for help. He needs our help, he needs justice. And without the neighbors, without witnesses, without those who know what happened, Milan will never get justice. So please, find it in your hearts to come out and say what happened for Milan's sake. Not for the murder, not for anybody, but for Milan, please.
Milan's baby brother, just 6 months old, fast asleep and perhaps oblivious to what is happening around him. As relatives and friends gathered at the mortuary, the big question came up: what could a 4-year-old do to deserve such treatment? The child lived with his father and stepmother. The boy's biological mother told us that she had been denied custody of the child on the premise that she was unstable.
Right now, I just want justice for my child, and that's it.
How do you feel about the whole situation with the mother and so on, the stepmother and so on? What would you like to see the authorities do about the matter?
Take a step.
Okay, what steps do you want them to take?
I don't answer no more questions. Yes.
Want me to come by you?
Moral support. Just tell us, what really would you like to see happen for this whole situation?
I just want the police to take more step in that.
Did you ask for the child to stay with you or custody of the child?
Yes, I did.
And what they told you?
Well, that I don't have a stable place, and when I have a stable place, I will have my child.
Kesa ou ka chile an ti mamay 4 l'année, sa fo. Même si on y en bay en let tabou ban let TV stand ou mata ko tourni, an ti mamay 4 l'année, sa fait ou qui tellement gros et pour ça battre li pour y prendre la mort comme ça. Non, personne pas jamais dit moi rien comme ça. To tell you la vérité, si personne te jamais dit moi ti fils ça te ka battre ti mamay là. So pas te ka prendre pièce news moi hodi.
Family members informed us that the post-mortem had been postponed for Tuesday since there were reportedly too many marks about the child's body. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas.
That is so touching. That is so sad. You know, the worst thing of it all is that the post-mortem postponed because of too many marks on this child's body. I mean, he's 4 years old. I mean, you saw the picture of the child. He's a slight child, not even a robust, big 4-year-old. And to abuse him to the point where he succumbs to his injuries, that even a post-mortem cannot be done on his body as yet because of the injuries that he suffered, that was inflicted upon him. How can caring hand, assist? Where can a mother go to? Where can she come to if she just needs somebody to talk to, guide her? How can we get in touch with Caring Hands?
Okay, well, presently, Caring Hands does not have an office. However, we are in talks with different individuals to establish a secretariat. I think a point that I need to make at this point in time is that with limited finances, this has been a challenge for us of late, and we are appealing to any individual, relevant agencies, whether it is government or other NGOs out there, to, in whatever way they could contribute towards the establishment of this secretariat. I think that would be a good investment, because if we understand what children are to us as a society, we then will develop a greater sense of appreciating their worth. Because one of the things I believe is that with children, they are the ones who would replace the adult population, and by virtue of this, they are the ones who would be filling the various jobs, becoming the doctors, lawyers, the farmers, the bus drivers. So essentially, as you have indicated, they are our future. So I think everyone should have this inclination to making sure that every child is protected, every child is nurtured properly, because I think the country can benefit from that in terms of an increase in productivity. Another situation is that sometimes when children go through difficult situations, some of them may act out. There is, to an extent, a strong and a positive correlation between children who have been abused and children who tend to act aggressively. And I think in light of such research, it is in our interest to make sure that these children receive the relevant attention or intervention. But the other thing I believe too is that we have to not solely focus on the victims, which I believe is extremely important, and we should never forget that. But I think the perpetrators too, we as a society, we have to think about this problem holistically and ask, what are the reasons as to why individuals would take advantage of persons, children that is, who need other individuals to fend for them. Children, they go through a continuous set of stages in terms of developmental milestones, and that is why they are always in consistent need of assistance from parents or caregivers. And to me, when you find that a caregiver or parent or anyone decides to engage in a behavior which is abusive to a particular child, we now need to ask, what are the factors that are leading to that? And there are a number of factors that would lead to that. Some of these factors may be individual factors. So for instance, there may be individuals from a psychological standpoint, in terms of their personality, they are not able to react in a way which is not aggressive to when a child engages in behavior that they don't want the child to practice. Now, I'm not saying that this person is of any significant reason or justification to abuse that particular child, but what this means is that as a society, we now must make sure that parents, caregivers do have the necessary knowledge of child development and how to manage the behaviors of children.
Because sometimes you would find that these parents themselves have been abused themselves,
yes,
so that
yes,
they're
for sure.
only passing on the things that they've learned.
Exactly.
Right? So you find, if I've been abused, I only know about the abusive
You
relationships.
live by what you learn.
Right, and then I can just perpetuate that, and it's a vicious cycle. The cycle continues. Mel, I know that you've always said that it's not always about the underprivileged child, but more or less about vulnerable children.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Caring Hands, we want to be the voice of the vulnerable children in society. We will work with the less fortunate kids, but we want to be the voice of the vulnerable children in society. We want them to know that they are not alone, and parents out there, we want you to know that we are there for you. We are there with you. We're going to be your voice. We want you to contact us, to work with us. We will work with you. We are reaching out to every one of you, and your information that you give to us, it's important to us. We respect your privacy, And we want to let you know that you are not alone. We will be following up with you. We will never leave your case undone. And this is the impact that Caring Hands Foundation will have on this society, because our children play a vital role in our lives and in the lives of society.
Now, I know you don't have a secretariat right now. All right?
We don't.
Right. So, but where do you operate out of currently?
Currently, we're operating out of each other's homes. Caring Hands has been blessed with a wonderful executive committee. We have powerful members forming the executive committee. We're able to operate out of each other's homes and also out of the public library.
Now, tell me, how does that affect your ability to do the work of the foundation? Do you have people who want to support the foundation, give support, but are unable to because you don't have a secretariat?
We have persons who have already embraced this organization, who want to work with us, who want to volunteer with us, persons who want to help us, but our standback at the moment is having the secretariat, and this is something that we're working on. We're negotiating with persons about it, and we want to make a plea to government that they can work with us in establishing a secretariat in the south of the island.
This is where you currently...
We are based in the south of the island, and the south of the island being that I always felt that charity begins at home. I am from the south of the island, and I started close to home. And it doesn't mean that we are not there for every child in society. We're going to reach out to every child in St. Lucia because it is our concern.
Okay, so how do we get in touch with Caring Hands Foundation?
Okay, you could visit our website. It's caringhandsfoundation.com. Also, we have a mobile number you could reach us on. It's 460-HELP.
Okay, that's easy to remember.
Yes,
460-HELP.
460-HELP, 460-4357, and somebody will always be there to respond to you.
Okay, so tell me that because if there could be somebody listening out there who wants to, who has a home, a house, something that you can retrofit to use as a secretariat. What are some of the requirements you need in that secretariat?
Well,
I would assume that you would need offices,
yes,
and they have to have a modicum of privacy, so that when persons come in, that you can speak with them and engage them in private. I would assume that you would want to have maybe an infirmary where you can have kids that have been abused, they come in. So tell us a little bit more about some of the things. I know in a previous conversation you spoke about appealing and petitioning to our supermarkets and our distributors who have goods, maybe slightly damaged goods or whatever, that we can that we can use as in a pantry to give off monthly.
We have a pantry program. We have a pantry program where we cater for children who are less fortunate, and we work closely with schools and their welfare officers to identify these children. We actually go into the field ourselves to identify children who are in need. And back to your question, when you asked about the secretariat, the secretariat would comprise of a resource center, a medical area where we would have a nurse on duty that would attend to children who are not always able to get to the hospital, and we're hoping that we could get some doctors to volunteer come on board and volunteer their services to them, because believe it or not, children have died because the parents cannot afford to get to the hospital, to go to the hospital to get the care for the child. It is happening in St. Lucia, and it's amazing the number of things that I have learned about this country when it comes to vulnerable and less fortunate kids by going out in the field. We have a lot of children, they sleep on the floor, not even on a cover, a mat, on the floor. And sometimes on that floor you could see outside from where you sleep. It is very disheartening. It is painful, and every time I speak about it, I always get very emotional. It's hard.
Wow. Tell us this number again where we can reach you.
You could reach us on 460-HELP. St. Lucians, I know we have a caring nation, and I can say that because of the Verlinda Joseph's case. St. Lucians came out. Every community in St. Lucia was represented at that march. You all came out in large numbers, and please give us your support. We're asking you to lend a hand, be with us. Those of you who cannot come to us, we're asking you to keep us in prayer because our work is very critical.
Also, Mel, we had a case this week of a father, and I think this father has been in the news before. I think his name is Eliud Mathray.
Mr. Mathray.
Yeah. And it's disheartening to know that a mother, according to him, does not want her children, and he obviously loves his kids and he wants his kids, and they give him comfort as much as he gives them comfort. And the reason why he's saying is that he does not have a home. You know, I think his home was demolished,
right.
And so currently he doesn't have a home. How can Caring Hands Foundation help?
Mr. Mathray, we want you to know that we can help you. As children are concerned, after the news clip on Monday, it really moved me. And believe it or not, we had a Skype meeting that very same night. We met as a committee, and we're already thinking of you. We will be helping you. We want you to call us on 460-4357, and we will take it from there with you and your children.
Now it's almost time for our viewers to join in the conversation. So we'll go on break and we will play the clip of Mr. Mathray where he's appealing. He's making an appeal. It's so heart-wrenching. So we'll play that clip, and when we come back from the break, it's your turn, St. Lucia, to join in the conversation. Be right back.
Right now, I had a home. I had a 3-bedroom home with toilet, kitchen, and bath, and dining room. Everyone had their own room. I can take care of my daughter. I know so many fathers who raise their own daughter. And I feel my daughter and my children are safer with me because they tell you straight they don't want to give their mother. The mother just tell them she don't want them coming back to Vivo because they're stressing her. Okay? So why the court cannot see with my view? So what? Because I'm a Rasta man? It's not my fault I don't have a home. I had a home, and I'm gonna have a home.